Welcome to Just Hair Me Out, a podcast about love, life, and hair. I'm Barbara. I've spent over 38,000 hours coloring hair.
Hi, I'm Demetra, and I've spent over 1,000 weeks with scissors in my hands.
With 50 clients a week in our chairs and 22 years on our feet, doing hair is not our hobby, it's our hustle. We've navigated salon politics and then opened salon suites of our own in 2020. We choose dogs over kids, skinny marks over beer, and we've only fired 3 clients each. Welcome back to Just Hair Me Out. Today I am here with Demetra again. Hey,
Hello.
girl.
Hey, girl, hey.
And we were having this conversation the other day and thought this should be an episode. So I have been watching 90 Day Fiancé for quite some time. There's enough content on there to last you for a year. Anyway, there's this topic coming up of gender-affirming surgery for trans people. And I had brought this up to Demetra, and she was as shocked as I was. But anyway, so there's a person on the show. This one person is a trans man. And I had to look it up because I don't know how I've gotten so old. But whether you're saying a trans man or trans woman is definitely like what they want to be now or identify now. So the trans man is someone who, went through a lot of surgery to have male parts. And they were this guy was really forward about like what he went through, and it was
on the show.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, there's also like after all the regular episodes air, then it's like there's a thing called like the tell-all.
Oh
and
yeah.
So
okay.
that's the first time different couples will see each other, and sometimes they're asking questions. Anyway. I was like blown away. I think I have in the past read or heard or talked to somebody who had gone the other direction, trying to go a trans woman. And
I feel like that's a little bit more popular though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, I had no idea how, I never sat down and tried to figure it out because, it's not something I have to worry about myself. But oh my gosh. So I think it can either be a part of somebody's upper torso, like in the back, or their thigh, or is it arm? I'm sorry, I should have looked this up before. But this person in particular, they opted for the thigh, so they take skin from a person's thigh and to create a penis.
Wow.
And
does the skin grow back?
I think you would have to stitch it together.
Okay. So I'm just wondering, how much skin do you need? Because you got to have room for air. It's like a haircut, right?
Wow.
No, seriously, like someone that wants a specific haircut, right? Like people that cut their hair for locks of love.
Yeah.
They need a minimum, let's say 10 inches, but then they want a haircut after. Well, you better allow for 12 inches being cut off because now I have to create something after taking. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's a little bit similar to the hair industry, but okay. Go ahead. Continue. Wait, so how do they do it? So, they just make a penis, but what about the veins and the peeing? Does all of that get...
Okay, that's what I was blown away with. So what he was being really open about is what they call a thigh phalloplasty. So that would be taking skin from your thigh, and they need nerves and everything that they can connect. They can connect to that person's clitoral nerves, so they have feeling in it. So this person in particular had skin taken from his left thigh, and there was a complication. There weren't enough nerves or something. And so months later, he had to go in and have skin from the other thigh to do it. And that
Told you, room for error. What did I just got done saying? See,
I
know. I should be a consultant. I think of things way before other people do stuff.
I know. You do.
I do.
Wise beyond your years.
I know.
So, but then he had a problem where his urethra closed. Okay,
What?
so I think... because they have to connect that too, right? So,
yeah.
Now he can have sex and also urinate through his penis. Okay. But, you have to go through a period of wearing a catheter for a long time, I think, in order for all that to heal and to be done that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
The amount of problems, he had 3 different surgeries just for this, to get a penis that was functional. And I want to say it took a year, and at least half that year he had to have a catheter.
Wow.
The amount of pain and trauma people go through to physically change. I mean, it's amazing they can even do it, the doctors. But
well, that's what I was just thinking. With like, how do they even know nerves are so sensitive? How do you know how to connect the nerve for it to even be functional without it dying? How do you make it where now you're able to even get an erection as a man? Like, how does I'm sure it has to do with blood flow and.
Well, there's that part was like had kind of eluded me. It was something to do with it's sort of rigid all the time. Because it's obviously not like penile tissue. You know what I'm saying? So he was saying that some people just have one where it's sort of rigid all the time, and other people who are doing this phalloplasty will have a pump put in. There's mechanics to create an erection.
Interesting.
Isn't that wild?
Okay, so if you were to do this, would you choose the pump or the non-pump?
I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, this is like terrifying to me. I mean,
well, it is.
I would say non-pump because I wouldn't want extra metal and stuff with in my little.
Well, hopefully it wasn't little. I mean, if you're gonna opt it, I mean, if you could create your size, it's like boobs, right? Like I'd opt for like something nice and something that can get rock solid. So I think I'm going for the pump.
Damn. Okay.
Well, no, but on a serious note, like, you know, I'm not making fun at any means.
No.
I mean, I like actually just started thinking about it because I never thought about it before. That is really, really insane, though, you know, in the process that people do have to go through. I mean, it's just amazing to me that they're able to even do that scientifically, medically, you know, in this person. Now, what confuses me a little bit with the whole transgender thing, because I don't even think it has anything to do with sexuality is what I was told, because it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, this person was a woman trying to be a man and likes men and then is gay or likes women. I don't think that even really plays into it. It's just how they feel physically and mentally within their own body, right? I don't think, because I think a lot of people do have it confused with like a sexuality thing too. And I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think trans is totally different than
whether you're gay or straight.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but if you're listening to our episode right now, and if you have any knowledge and you're trans yourself, I would love clarity. You know, I'm just curious, you know, how other people think, because, you know, it's hard too, because with our generation, I have, you know, I have a few kids that come in, they go by they, them, and I'm still confused about it. Like when to say it, when to use the pronouns, when not to. I never want to be disrespectful by any means, you know. But like if I knew someone that was a little girl and I've been cutting her hair this whole time and all of a sudden now it's turning into a boy and I'm still referencing to their name, you know what I mean? Like I get confused, like, oh, you know, how's she doing? Or, you know, to the parents, or you know, like natural reaction, you know, so it's hard because you're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or anything either. I mean, maybe some people are. I'm definitely not. I could care less.
Yeah.
What someone does with themselves and their body if they're not hurting anybody else, you know, to each his own. But what happened, like on the episode, I am a little curious. With this person was obviously trying to find love.
Yeah, so he was getting engaged to a woman.
Okay.
And she was totally cool with it.
Yeah,
and
see?
To her, he seemed like absolutely 100% like a man, you know?
Yeah. And the woman, she was 100% like woman, no trans or anything like that. Just,
correct. And so she was a straight woman who was looking for a man, and he's essentially a man.
Okay.
So, but I just... really interesting. And then also there was a different show that was reality based that was so good. It's on HBO. It is called Couples Therapy. Have we ever talked about this? It is so good. It is so interesting. Not your average reality. I mean, they're not trying to be extra dramatic. Okay. I find it really fascinating because I'm really interested in psychology. So seeing people interact with each other and how they might be making missteps doing that is really interesting to me. So it's a therapist in New York City who they get couples who will agree to be recorded and talk about their relationship. Like there's always a challenge, like nobody's in there because everything's great. So there was a couple and it was two women, but one of them was a trans woman.
Okay.
So they had met when the trans woman was still a man.
Oh.
And started dating. And then the trans woman decided to become a woman. And then everything was okay, really, with them. But then after having all the surgeries, the trans woman had, like, she was talking about her surgery and how I couldn't believe it. She was saying that they have a problem because the woman, sorry to say it like that, is upset with her because the trans woman doesn't want to have sex. But she said that her new vagina, it hurts all the time. She said it's like sitting on glass. And she said that's really like you have to be aware of that when you sign up to do it. Like that might happen.
Oh my God.
And I'm just kind of like, oh my God.
But
I feel
doesn't the
terrible.
woman, because she was so used to getting penis, don't you think she still wants penis?
Well, she must be bi, to be honest.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Again, this is different because there I go again thinking about it sexually when in a reality, if you love someone, it probably doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you love them so much. But I think when you're in a relationship and you do go in, I'm sorry, that is a big part of it. Sex is a big part of your relationship. Now we're talking about someone who was already with someone and then decide to do the change. It's kind of like Kris Jenner, you know, and you're right, like
Caitlyn.
Yeah, Caitlyn. Like, I'm sorry, she married a man. She wanted to be with a man, and then he decides to do this. And I know there was a lot of love there, but maybe she didn't want a scissor. You know, like. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's true.
From that perspective, right? Like, I don't know. And not even that, not even from a sexual perspective, but it changes a lot. Some people just can't handle it, you know? Maybe she was like, what the hell? This guy's wearing my dresses and my underwear? That's not masculine for me.
Well, I think for this particular couple, the trans woman, I think the entire relationship had been like maybe in the start considered a cross-dresser. And,
okay.
So I don't think...
So she was familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think every situation is different. That's what I'm saying. This is no judgment. This is just Barbara and I having a conversation, trying to understand. It's very interesting that people are willing to be open and talk about their experiences. And I think it's great for, someone like you and I who... don't know much about it. I'm curious, I'm curious, like what is going through someone's mind and how the other people deal with it that aren't trying to be trans, but are still in those relationships. I mean, there's a lot of layers to this when you think about it.
Yes.
So many different people are being affected.
Okay.
Wow.
And listen to this other layer. This one, okay. And trust me, I do not want to be judging, but I kind of wanted to like shake this lady. So her partner is a trans woman, and she has this, I think it's a newer desire that she wants to have a baby. So within like a year or two...
Woman.
No, the woman, cis woman.
Oh, okay.
Decided she wanted to have a baby.
Okay.
And be a mother.
Okay.
So within a year of her partner doing the trans surgery... Mm-hmm. She's now looking for sperm donors.
I'm confused. See what I'm saying? I'm confused.
So
who's looking for the sperm donor?
The cis woman, CIS, the woman. So do you know that?
Because the trans woman doesn't have semen anymore because
right.
Oh, they had the surgery. I understand. So now they have to look for a donor. Oh, that's too bad. Why didn't?
I know.
Oh, that's sad. Why wouldn't?
Why not freeze a bunch?
Yeah. But they probably didn't know that going in.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's sad. See, that's what I'm saying. But it's okay. A lot of people,
Yeah.
get donated semen.
Yeah. You can pick the DNA you want. But anyway, I think they were also talking about like with the therapist, like the financial part of that. It's like, it could have been so much easier. And I think the trans woman she's so new to being her that she doesn't even know if she wants to be a parent. And so that's kind of like a problem.
The clashing.
Yeah. Anyway, there's, as you say, like it's so much.
Yeah, I mean, just the transformation would be a lot to begin with. And now you're starting to add these other things, becoming a parent, not becoming a parent, the sexual aspect of it, all that other stuff. I mean, talk about, you need to be really, really solid in a relationship to even... Honestly, consider that. Like I say all the time, I'm like, I can't stand the way someone chews. I'm like, I'm out. Like I'm gonna be single forever. And like I think I've finally been like okay with it. But I'm like, man, God bless these people. That they have like that kind of love for somebody.
Well, and I would kind of hope that, I mean, I think some trans people are okay with not having surgery.
Well, then are they considered trans? Or are they considered something else?
I believe so. I think trans means that it just means that the body you're born in, that sex you don't agree with.
Okay, so you don't necessarily, it doesn't mean people that actually have had the surgery.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And you know, there's a lot of these surgeries are done in Thailand or even, I want to say Iran, like Middle East.
Really?
Okay, get this. Okay, so my whole lifetime, it's been a big deal in Thailand because they're Buddhist and they don't have any strong feelings about what someone does as far as sex or who they want to be with. So it's been easier to have like hospitals that are geared toward that because nobody's upset about it.
Right.
Whereas in America, they would be. But then I was also hearing, I don't mean to laugh, this is like crazy town, but like in this day and age, we're, you know, right in 2025 right now, you know, in the Middle East, there's a lot going on with certain groups trying to enact Sharia law and all this stuff that, you know, it's very, gender roles are extremely important to them and control. And so if you're gay, they really do just think you should die.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Stoned to death, or you get outcasted. Yes. You get, so for them to be doing surgeries like this is very bizarre to me.
Okay, so hear me out though.
Yeah.
The couple I was talking about in the beginning, where there's a trans man with a cis woman, they'd be okay with that. They wouldn't be okay with, because the trans man was born a woman. If a woman wanted to be with a woman, they'd have to die. But if he's now a man, they're okay with him being with a woman.
What?
You look really confused. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it can make, in you know, somebody who's kind of ignorant to the topic, if they look at you and are like, okay, it's a man and a woman, they're okay with it.
Well, I get it because they favor men, okay? But the underlining of this person was still a female, and female have no rights. So how did this female get the right to become a man? That is where I'm confused. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think about that.
I don't know. But there's got to be some sort of health privacy, right?
Right. So I mean, guess maybe once you, I mean, I don't know. Is there?
Well, I mean, it's like actually against the law to, you know, stay in the same room as someone you're not married to.
Right.
Right.
I mean, the women have to be fully covered. The women have to be, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I don't even know what the hell I'm saying at this point. And my mind is just like, because I keep thinking of it and I feel like I'm going totally like off subject. And
oh, no, it's fine. Well, here's the other thing. When women are covered head to toe except their eyes, how is anyone to ever know if that's a man dressed like that?
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? You just have to have one person be a man, one person be a woman, at least in public, and you're okay.
Well, not really, because if they thought it was two women together.
Well, no, I'm saying whatever your situation.
Oh.
Like this wouldn't work for the couple in couples therapy, right? Because the trans woman is with a cis woman. So just Joe Schmo on the street would say, oh, that's a lesbian couple.
Oh, I see what you're saying. If they were here in the States, not being there. Because being there, if they saw two women together being completely covered, even if it was a man underneath, forget it, they'd both be stoned to death. And a man would have put himself in that situation.
Right.
Okay, got it. All right. Just had to clear that up a little bit.
Anyway, well, I'm sure not everybody that lives there feels that way about, you know, just because someone's in a Muslim country doesn't mean they would like to see anyone who identifies as gay be killed. But it is what it is.
No, of course not. But a lot of it does fall under their religion and beliefs, right? So we're talking what is just religion beliefs, right? Not as individuals, because everybody feels very strongly or opinionated to their own opinions, no matter what your religion may be. We're just talking about what the black and whites are of that Muslim culture.
Okay, so side note, I read an article just the other day from Psychology Today, I believe. Anyway, someone had done this study and found that there's a correlation with people taking testosterone and then being attracted to men. So it would be in reference to trans men, because, you know, you might take testosterone to try to grow facial hair and, you know, other things like that. That there's a correlation with that and like changing your sexual identity, like what you're drawn to. I just thought that was really interesting.
Wow. That's actually really interesting.
I am fascinated by hormones, okay?
Oh, don't get me started.
Okay, I am getting you started. So listen to this. I went through this man disliking phase because, if you date too many people who are not nice humans, it gets you feeling a certain way. And I want to say, though, it is so fascinating to me and my life experience. So Demetra and I are both in our mid-40s. And so we're at an interesting time where we're not like in menopause, but we're also not in like baby mode by any means. I remember being like between 25 and like almost 40, I like really wanted kids. And really? I logically had said to myself, like, what would you do with a kid? And the answer in my brain is I have no idea. But I'm just saying, it's like the hormones, right? It is like so... I mean, okay, this is like a little TMI, but I remember once I wasn't dating anybody, nothing was happening. I got my period and I like cried because I was clearly not having a baby, but I'm like, what the hell is wrong with me? Anyway, hormones are crazy time. Okay, I shouldn't say crazy, that's a bad word. They are intense. The ability of hormones to change how you think is wild. Okay, so here's my point, though. When the hormone shift happens...
You're not rational.
Yes.
When your hormones are not aligned, to be quite honest.
People talk about, like, are you using your head or your heart or, things like that.
There's a reason why they say that.
Oh, yeah, true. But also, I mean, there's brain versus hormones. Like, those chemicals are strong. I did think to myself, I was, like, blown away that after I turned 40, like, within a couple years, I thought... I'm totally fine not having kids. Mm-hmm. And it just like changed. But the hormones changed. Yeah. And then I think to myself, this is a weird thought. I think that if we're talking about kind of like animal instincts and whatnot, men technically can impregnate a lot of people at the same time. Yes. And how badly they want to have sex with someone who just walks by them that looks like, in an animalistic way, someone you would have offspring with. Like, so someone young and healthy and whatever. Mm-hmm. That's how bad I wanted to have a kid. And it is hormones. And I thought, wow, because, like, we get over it and they never do.
Well, that's a good point. But
unless for them, they get castrated.
Yeah, but I don't think for them it's about having a baby. For them, it's just about the act of feeling good, a pleasure.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that drive comes from a certain goal that is more biological.
Right. And it's different for men than it is women.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, so ours change. I mean, there's plenty of shit we have to deal with from that. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of interesting because I do feel like I am more logical now that I'm less hormonal.
Definitely. 110%.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yes.
So anyway, it's just interesting when someone is a transsexual person and they start taking hormones, what those hormones can change their opinions on.
Right.
It's a whole other topic, but...
Which could be scary because what they once thought in their head can start to change and be different. And now you're going through the process physically, medically. Yeah. I wonder if that's happened. Like, oh my God, now I'm taking these hormones and I'm actually not even feeling I want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
That could happen too,
That's why there's a lot of thought about people not taking any, scientific approaches to changing a person's gender until they're like 25, because that's when your brain stops growing,
Right. It's still developing up until that age.
And I don't want to piss off any listeners and, it's totally not my business. Right. But I have heard from clients over the years, like sometimes they have kids who change their mind later. Mm-hmm. And I mean, hormones is one thing. I mean, it's a lot of ups and downs and whatever. But if a cis woman is taking testosterone as a teenager when they're like going through puberty, it can render them infertile later. Wow. So it's just big choices.
Yeah. A lot to think about. Already on top of a lot to think about.
But when I was listening to these people who have undergone a gender-affirming surgery, and, especially with the downstairs, I was like, oh my God, I would so much rather people be like we should really go for the ladyboy thing. Do you know what a ladyboy is?
Yes, that's really big in Thailand, right?
Yeah. Anyway, I just, well, I shouldn't have an opinion because I don't know what it feels like, but man, it is so scary to me.
I don't either. I'm just curious. For the brain, like how you said earlier too, with like the psychology behind it. Yeah. I very much I'm always asking questions. You're curious,
Yeah.
It's a human thing to try to understand, the same thing how you're saying, how some people, they just want kids and that's their main focus. It doesn't even care who they're with, right? Some people are like, I want a kid and no matter what, that's it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's just like crazy to me.
Yeah. But I'm also like firmly of the belief of, it gets me a little itchy when people talk about gender and like it's such a static thing because, my whole life I've been kind of a tomboy. And by the way, I don't know where that word went because it's useful. Like nobody says tomboy anymore. But
you get in trouble, and that's the other thing that pisses me off. Like, that's not fair. If we grew up a certain way and using certain terminology, that's what we're used to.
Yeah.
Like, don't punish us for it. You're trying to have us understand your generation. Well, you need to understand our generation.
Yeah.
Like, that's all.
But in my mind, who says that a woman isn't somebody that wears overalls and fixes cars for a living? Like, it's just, it blows my mind that people can be so binary when they're trying to be non-binary.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I know what you're saying, girl. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but if you are in the wrong body, I am just so scared for you because these surgeries are terrifying. Like, how do you know that you're not going to just urinate in a bad way for the rest of your life? Ugh, it scares me.
My heart goes out to anybody that's going through or struggling with anything, and are having a hard time with it. And those that aren't having a hard time and are happy with it, then I'm happy for you. But we just need to spread some more love and joy for everybody because we're all still human at the end of the day.
Yeah. I like to try to understand things, but it's not really my business and not part of my life. But it's interesting to ponder. And also, I should say, as I'm talking like that, I don't know how many people have undergone gender-affirming surgery, and it's been great and fine. These are just a couple of scenarios I heard about.
And they weren't, right.
And it just really scared me. Anyway.
Wow.
It's there's risks, huge risks. Yeah. Anyway, okay, well, we are going to wrap it up. If you have anything you want to say about this episode or questions or comments, or if we need to be corrected on anything, please message us.
Yes, we'd like to know.
Yes.
Curious minds want to know.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, bye, kids.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe or follow. And please leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Lastly, follow us on social media for clips of past and future episodes. All our accounts are listed in the show notes below. Thanks so much for listening.